And what is going on? Welcome back to Creative Breakfast. How's everyone this week? Coming at you live, bright and early on a Saturday morning. Well, it depends what time it is where you are, but some parts of the world it's Saturday morning. Some parts of the world it's Saturday evening. Where I am, we're coming up. It's late in the day. We're coming up towards 11 p.m. Time changes. The recent time change in the US means I'm streaming an hour later than I usually do. So welcome to the winter edition. Is that what we call it? Winter in the Northern Hemisphere. The winter edition. Creative Breakfast. Bright and early. It's coming up to, we're just before 8 a.m. Eastern time, US time. Even earlier if you're across different parts of the US, and early midday or afternoon in different parts of Africa and Europe, and then scooting across into Asia. We're heading into the evening or late evening, and Australia, New Zealand. It's probably already Sunday. Well, fancy that. How is everyone? We're going to jump in and do the shout-outs to people who are in the chat in just a second. It started with those people here. I can see Albie already says it's 12:54. It's just coming up to 1 p.m. there in sunny old England. Well, I don't know if it's sunny today, but hopefully it is. Hopefully it's a nice sunny day. I know you guys are heading into the winter months in the Northern Hemisphere, and down under, we're heading into the summer, so it's warming up. And it's a bit of a cooler evening tonight, so it's great. Cooler evening for me. Earlier this week's been muggy, humid weather, and a little bit of rain as well. But that's the weather report for today. Turning into a weather program, aren't we? Let's do the shout-outs before we do anything else. I'm going to start with, let me see, I'm just going to pronounce this phonetically. 1NX_70 says hi as we went live. Let's see. And Michael Sahoski is in the house. My favorite Free Jingle Friday friend is joining us all the way from sunny USA. Albie Tastic is here in the house, joining us from England, of course. Different parts of the world. Not so sunny, apparently. And Churrill's here. How you going? Welcome. Let's see. Everybody's saying hi to each other, which is really good. Lisa's coming at us from, I'll go with the theme, sunny Nevada. It was sunny in Nevada when I was there last, that's for sure. That was, going back, I think that was 2009, so that's more than 10 years ago. Gee, time flies. I was even in Las Vegas on my birthday. How's that? And that's everybody. If you're lurking and you haven't said hi, make sure to say hi. Dropping it in there. And there's one thing I forgot to do is drop that little bit of background music in the background there. Let's get that going. There we go. I like it a lot. Well, today, you know what? Early this week, I've dropped several community posts on the channel this week. Earlier in the week, I sort of said I think it was a week ago. I think it was over the weekend, last weekend. Might have even been during them and live. I know vidIQ hit their 1 million subscribers very early of the hours of Saturday morning US time. I think Rob there got up and started streaming as they were about to cross 1 million subscribers. It was like, he's on Pacific time, I think it was like 4 a.m., 4:30 in the morning. Crazy. It was in my evening, so I was getting ready to do Nimmin Live and doing some preparation. I think I was doing some editing and stuff. I really don't know. And I myself was awful close to 7,000 subscribers, so we're getting close. And so we rolled through that. We did Nimmin Live last week. We didn't. I don't think we streamed here. I don't think we streamed. I didn't stream last week myself, but during Nimmin Live, or during that sometime on Saturday anyway, I hit 7,000 subscribers on the channel. So I did a community post, I think the next day. I'm just trying to remember now. It was a community post on the channel, just announcing, dropping the little TubeBuddy milestone there. So 7,000 subscribers has happened this week, and I did a post there. And in that post, I intimated that would be, certainly streaming this week, and that we'd be doing a certain thing. Now, certain events this week have precluded me from doing that, because there's another topic I want to talk about instead. Get my piece out there and then move on. And so I've postponed that little thing that we haven't done in a very long time. It's called Check My Channel. It was going to be this week. We're going to do it next week. So unfortunately, I had to call an audible on that one, as they say. So this week, as you can see by the topic on the video, we're talking about YouTube dislike counter. And so we'll go through that a little bit later. That's all happening. Let's see what's happening in the chat. I saw it's Charlie, Midnight Man. It's 4x4 in the house. Can't stay for long. Getting ready for the day, I'm assuming. It's that busy part of the year, I'm sure, for you. And here we go. Michael's in with the questions. And just as a reminder as I pull it up, this is a Q&A show, so anytime during the show you can drop a question in the chat and I will get to it. We're at the size at the moment where if somebody asks a question, I can address it during the show, unless you drop it like when I'm wrapping up or something like that and it comes in very late. But, we generally can answer most of the Q&A questions as they come in, which you can't say for all shows, because once those viewers get up, it's rolling through on the chat really quick. But yeah, anytime, every Creator Breakfast is a Q&A show, so you can drop your questions anytime. I've got a few extra bits of software running this week just to monitor things on the stream, just doing some testing. So that's all good, and we're going to get right into it. Before we hit the main topic, we're going to cover a few of the things that we like to do. And what I want to get out of the way first, I want to get all the formalities out of the way and do that little thing we like to do where we acknowledge all the new subscribers this week. Because you can see, I think this current subscriber count, I need to look on a public facing. I've lost track. Can I scroll up? No, not on that screen. It's not open. I think we're up to nearly 7,020 subscribers, give or take. So this week we've done a really good job piling the subscribers. So in saying that, we want to acknowledge the new subscribers on the channels, like what we do every week. So let's head on over and do that segment right now. And of course, these are always, as I mention every week, people who have got their subscriptions public. Because if you've privated your subscriptions, then the person you're subscribed to can't see that you're subscribed. And nobody else can either. So we're just going to rattle them off, as you can see on the screen here. These are the most recent eight, yes, subscribers on the channel. So we're going to shout them out. We're going to sneeze. I do have my mute button. I don't think I hit the button in time there. Excuse the sneeze. I don't know what's brought that on all of a sudden. Maybe it's the wind that we had today's kicked up some pollen. Anyway, let's rattle through the list. Firstly, we want to welcome Dr. Pundit TV, Kanda Wolfie, has joined us. Video for Bosses, whom I know dropped a comment in one of my videos. So thank you for subscribing. Rifki Ramadan has subscribed. Mr. Shorts. I wonder if Mr. Shorts does YouTube Shorts. I would expect he does. Mama G Gear is a new subscriber as well. Ms. Weeks, or is it MS Weeks? I really don't know. There's no spaces to help me with that. And Mr. Animation.rplays. I like to spell the whole name out there, the dot and all. Mr. Animation.rplays. They are the most 8 recent subscribers to my channel. So shout out anybody, if any of you 8 or indeed a recent subscriber in the chat and you're lurking, make sure to say hi so I can shout you out as well. And let's head on back. All right. Oh, yeah, we're on this scene. Good. I'm going to jump into the chat real quick. Charlie says, yeah, he's got a busy day. Stay a little while, maybe even longer if I get some coffee. Yeah, I'm finishing off an early coffee. I usually keep my coffee for between my show and Nimmin Live, but today I needed it extra early. So I have my coffee ready to go. It's near the bottom. Hopefully I can finish it off. And then I got my backup, the chilled water. Well, it's slightly chilled. All right. So yeah, keep the questions coming. Drop your Q&A in there. Albie Tassie just got his coffee. That's always good to see. Everyone with their coffees. All right, dislikes. Now, I want to get a gauge of people in the chat right now. Who doesn't know anything about what we're talking about when we're talking about YouTube removing the dislike counter from YouTube or from people's videos where they show up right now? So let me know if your head's been in the ground or you haven't been on YouTube the last 3 or 4 days. I think it was like about 3 days ago it was announced, 2 days ago, 3 days ago. So if you don't know anything about it, just wave your hand at me in the chat. Just say me or do a wave, a hi, something like that to indicate that I don't know anything about it. Tell me more. Oh, and Albie's already seen the dislike count gone. For me, I'm looking at my stream right now on my iPad and I still got the dislike counter. It's currently at 0 for this stream. You know, that could change. But I can still see it, and I can still see it on my browser. So they said it was starting to roll out a couple of days ago, and so that's a progressive rollout. So I don't know whether that's a channel thing or a device thing. I'm going to think it's got to be something to do with the device and the servers that serve that device, making that change in how everything's displayed. So let's have a look. Michael Saholsky is washing his hands. This is how it comes through. Those special YouTube emojis. That's how they come through in text format. Wash hands, and that's always a good. That's a good public service announcement. All right. And Chantel is in the house, by the way. Everybody, big shout out. Say hello. The dislike button will be there, but the count will be gone. So people can hit the dislike. People can still dislike videos, but they'll be gone. Let's go have a look what YouTube says about the announcement. What's their rationale for doing this? Let's check that out. Let's find out. Let's not just go with the vibe in the community or the loud. I'm going to say they're a loud minority, but that could be a loud majority. I don't really know. But, you know, there's 3 sides to this, and we'll cover it. But we're going to go through the information first. I don't want to jump the gun on this one. But let's head on over. All right. So they put out this article November 10. So it was a few days ago. It says, an update to dislikes on YouTube. This is by the YouTube team, which is odd because quite often these articles on the blog post are written or credited to a specific staff member. Sometimes it's like someone like Neil Mohan or one of the team leaders somewhere. But this is just by the YouTube team, which is interesting. Read into that what you will. I haven't really got an opinion on that. but I just noticed it as we we're looking at the article. It says, the dislike counter will be private across YouTube, but the dislike button will remain. So that's the headline. That's the gist of what's happening. They're taking the counter away, but the button remains. And Ollie Smith is in the house, and my mouse needs to be in the right spot to click on that. Let's... Come on. I can't move it. It won't let me move it because I've got extra widgets sitting on top. That's my fault. Anyway, we'll continue on. I'll leave that highlighted. Okay. It says at YouTube, we strive to be a place where creators of all sizes and backgrounds can find and share their voice. To ensure that YouTube promotes respectful interactions between viewers and creators, we introduced several features and policies to improve their experience. And earlier this year, we experimented with the dislike button to see whether or not changes could help better protect our creators from harassment and reduce dislike attacks. They're now calling them dislike attacks, but when they were talking about it earlier this year, they were calling it brigading. Maybe people don't know what brigading is, but it's the same thing basically, where groups of people band together to mass dislike a video for whatever reason they have to do it. But it's like a coordinated dislike. I'm going to skip straight to the next paragraph. As a part of this experiment, viewers could still see and use the dislike button, but because the count was not visible to them, we found that they were less likely to target a video's dislike button to drive up the count. In short, our experiment data showed a reduction in dislike attacking behavior. And they've got a citation here. It says little 1 here. It's probably a little bit small on the screen. But there's a little citation. I haven't checked this citation out, but it'll be somewhere at the bottom. We also heard directly from smaller creators that those just getting started, they started that they are fairly unfairly targeted by this behavior, which to me seems a little odd, because if you're just starting out, you're not really on anybody's radar yet. So I don't know why that is the case, but there's a broad amount of community and different types of creators on the platform. So I'm not going to put my experience onto other creators, have different experiences and different interactions on YouTube. It says, and our experiment confirmed that this does occur at a higher proportion on smaller channels, which I'm sort of surprised by that, but okay. If that's the data, then I'll take that on board. Based on what we learn, we're making the dislike counts private across YouTube, but the dislike button is not going away. This change will start gradually rolling out today. So it's been rolling out for coming out to 3 days now. So you might see it there still, or it might be changed over to just the button. There was a whole explanation video, which is this video here. That's Matt Koval, who's the YouTube creator liaison. So he works for YouTube, but he is the one that primarily liaises with creators on things that need to be communicated between creators and the platform. What's changing for creators and viewers starting today? Creators will still be able to find the exact dislike counts in YouTube Studio, along with other existing metrics if they would like to understand how their content is performing. So it's been hidden publicly, but it's still available if you want to go and find it and search it and pull it out if you're interested in it, and it's not going to affect you to see that you might have gotten a lot of dislikes on a particular video. Then the metrics are still there, so you should still look at them. Viewers can still dislike videos. They can't see the dislike count, but they can still dislike videos to tune their recommendations and privately share feedback with creators. We heard during the experiment that some of you have used the public dislike count to help decide whether or not to watch a video. And I've heard a lot of creators share that. They say, I use that particularly when I'm coming to like a how-to video or a tutorial, that I like to look to see the legitimacy of the information based on the like to dislike ratio, and they call it looking at the ratio. And I find that's valid. There's a certain percentage of people who use YouTube in that way, but what I found is not everybody does. Now, I did an interesting poll on my YouTube poll. I'm going to jump straight to it. Just going to jump straight to the tab. I asked 2 days ago. The question I asked was, as a viewer on YouTube, do you look at the likes and dislikes on a video to determine whether you will watch it or not? Now, I had 30 votes on this, so this is, it's not just like 5 or 10 people. It's 30 people, and 20% said yes, they do, and an overwhelming 80% said no, they don't. So you can see, at least in my community, out of the 30 people I polled, 30 people isn't a huge amount, but it's still a cross-section of the community on this channel, at least, that only 20% actually used the ratio, or the like to dislike ratio, to determine the quality or whether they're going to watch the video or not based on that. But overwhelmingly, no, they don't. So as a viewer, at least us as creators, even though we're aware that that's a stat that we can look at on the view page, we're not looking for that particular metric. But I hear some very vocal people in the community, notable ones, and I know because Philip DeFranco mentioned them on his channel, and they've both mentioned these publicly on Twitter and in a video, in Marquez's case, and Linus from Linus Tech Tips talked about it at length on his live stream yesterday. They both take the side of, well, taking this stat away is a problem for me because I use YouTube in this way, and assuming, at least to a certain extent, that a percentage of other people also use YouTube that way, and that's valid, and that's fine. And so you got this camp who give this as one of their primary arguments for not agreeing with the change. And then you have other people who are happy because they're taking YouTube at their word and saying, yes, it's good because it's going to cause less mental anguish or emotional anguish or whatever it is if my videos ever get dislike bombed. I won't get, nobody will see it, so nobody's going to, bring that up, or you could say they could pile on the actual, dislike, and just, like a snowball rolling down a hill, it picks up the snow, might pick up speed, because some people see people doing it, so more people jump on and do it. So you got that side, but there's actually a third side, and that's the third side, and to some people this is valid too, in their experience as a creator on the platform. They don't really care either way, whether YouTube takes it away or doesn't take it away. It doesn't affect them, from the mental anguish side of things. They, at the same time, they're not missing it from hey, it's helping me improve the quality of a video. Whether or not that's really a valid argument or not, for some people, that's what they believe, and that's how they use YouTube. So that's fine. So interestingly, in our community, at least, there's a big no, they don't use it that way. So, I believe that you can be in any of those three camps and have valid arguments, and there's not an issue with anybody having a differing opinion. And I think it's good to have the discussion civilly, but there's been a lot of toxicity around this subject in the community. A lot of people just going at it because it's just another thing to hate YouTube for. And that can be a distraction. I'm going to jump back into the chat when I get back to the screen. Is there anything else I need on this? No, there's nothing else I need on that. Let's jump back to the full screen for a sec. Let's bring it back here. I'm going to jump back into the chat. I want to see if people have got any thoughts on this. Let me know if you got any thoughts on this, because on the attacking YouTube side of things, or I'm against this decision that YouTube has made there's some extreme views, I think, that are some might consider them laughable, some might consider them extreme, or in the realm of there's a train of thought where this is actually a conspiracy theory, believe it or not. And I personally call that a little bit nuts, but you know, that's fine if you want to have that opinion. Just because you got that opinion doesn't mean I have to agree with it. Okay, where are we up to? I'm finding the chat. Here we go. Wave emoji. Hey, I'll take any custom emoji that's in there. Okay, I went back too far, obviously. Everyone's saying hi. Midnight Man brings up a valid point. YouTube Rewind knows plenty about dislike attacks. That's true. That's true. And, you know, YouTube is a corporation. They've got big boy pants on. You know, they'll take the criticism on board, and so it's not a concern to them. And I did one argument was that they're doing this for companies, so they're not embarrassed when we dislike them. And I'm like, I don't think companies care, as long as if they're front of mind in people's minds, whether it's sometimes it's something that could be controversial or something like that, where there might be like a dissecting opinion about something that a company might have just done, and maybe they've put out a video that's a little bit dodgy in some way or controversial in subject matter. I don't think the company's too worried about how many dislikes they got on YouTube. You know, they're not in the business of getting YouTube likes and views and earning ad revenue on YouTube. They're in the business of selling a product or a service. So I don't think that is a valid argument. But that's fine. Let's see. But for Rewind, you know, we already know that they're not doing Rewind this year. We know that they're taking a break from that on a permanent basis. They've put Rewind in the cupboard. It's not coming back anytime soon. Well, not this year anyway. I don't think it'll be back next year either. Just like Candace, so you can feel unloved in private. Yeah, that's right. Because one of the things they use against the decision against YouTube for this is people say, well, if the creators can still see the amount of dislikes, then, you know, what, you know, how does that benefit them? They can still look at it, but they at least get the choice to choose not to go in and look at it. Whereas if you're on the view page of a video, it's staring you in the face. Like if they're not in the habit of going into analytics and looking for that specific metric, and it's not on the top end of analytics, you've got to dive in a little bit to find it. If you go look at that, or you know, or they're going into their content thing and looking all the way across the line there on their content page in YouTube Studio, they might just see that counter there. But unless you want to go look for it, you're probably not going to see it or be attentive to it. So that was an interesting argument as well, you know. Let's see. Nice timing too. I just got the thanks button added to my channel out of nowhere. Yeah, I'm still waiting on that super thanks. Still waiting on the super thanks. Every day or every second day I'm in studio, I check my monetization page. It says you don't have super thanks yet, but it's coming. So I get that. I would like it. We'd all like it. All right. Albitaski says, frankly, if they're that much of a snowflake, they're not going to last long on YouTube. Well, that's an argument on the thumbs up. Good on you, YouTube. Actually, which side is that argument on? Yeah, that's when there's a talking about if the that's on the that's on the side where the against the dislike counter being taken away. It's like, well, creators should be tough, have a thick skin, so to speak, put up with criticism. Well, the thing is, the comments are still there. They're still going to get, comments. I think a harsh comment is probably going to rub somebody up a lot more than a count of dislikes. in my opinion anyway. But, you know, some people might be different. Charlie's got to go. Catch you later, Charlie. Have a good one. Eileen says, I do not care if other people don't like the video. What has that got to do with me? That's right. You know, everybody gets to choose whether they enjoy a video or don't enjoy a video, whether they like or dislike a video. We still have the ability to do both. We still have the ability to vote with our feet. If I don't like a video, I can leave and go to the next video. That sends a higher signal to YouTube of the quality of the video than a dislike on a dislike button. So there's different things you can consider with that. There's a lot of weights. The other thing to note too is that, you know, dislikes never really affected the performance of a video in a deep way. You know, the weighting on a like or dislike in regards to all the other metrics that YouTube takes as to whether or not they're going to push a video out to more people to look at, people who they think would be likely to enjoy the video. The dislikes and likes are way down the list as being a critical factor in the performance of a video. You know, they do a little bit, but they're right down near the bottom. They're down there with tags. Down there with tags. Where are we? I'm looking through the chat. Definitely think I need coffee. Definitely. I might be going another one in another hour or so. We'll see. With this particular issue, I'm in the camp where I can't change YouTube's decision, so I'll focus my energy on what I can control. Yes. Hence the title of my stream today. So there's a whole lot of arguments back and forth, and you've probably heard them ad nauseum in the last couple of days, so I'm not going to harp on any of those much longer. I'm going to go to the point of this whole discussion today, from my point of view anyway. What did we call the stream? I'm just looking it up. YouTube dislikes. It's cut off there. Here. Creators, don't be distracted. So, this is my thoughts today. I'm sort of in the camp where I don't really care either way. I can see people's points of view and I respect people's points of view, and that's cool. But in the end, particularly for small creators who hear all the hubbub and all the noise and all toxicity and different things that are going on, and I know Philly D's talked about it 2 days in a row on his show, so it must be pretty important or whatever. The thing is, when things like this happen on YouTube, it happens, you know, when we had the whole Logan Paul with the in the forest thing, and then that sort of after that there was the first adpocalypse. There was another adpocalypse. It was back in the beginning of end of 2019. There was copper. All the different things that come up, and it's, oh no, YouTube's gonna fall. YouTube's going down. Woe is YouTube. All the different things that happen. Every single time, you know, there's some course correction happening. But those who stayed focused continued to move forward on the platform, grow their channel, keep getting the views, keep putting out videos, and saw more success over time. So my final thoughts on the whole dislike process is that I don't really, you know, it doesn't affect me whether it's there or not. I don't mind if YouTube keeps it there, keeps the counter there, or doesn't keep the counter there. I am not going to I'm not going to get worked up about it on either side, whether they decide to keep them and decide to change them, whether they decide to do something completely different in the future. It's their platform, and if YouTube don't do things on a whim. They usually test things out and think things through, so they have a reason for it, and maybe they have some things that will happen down the track where they can find a middle ground where they can meet some of the criticisms that they're currently getting. And so I'll trust that YouTube will continue to evolve over time on that thing. So us as creators, what do we need to do? We need to stay focused. We need to not get distracted or get bummed out by things or what's going on. And, oh, look, I've never seen Linus Sebastian so angry. I've never seen Marquez this critical of YouTube before, or you know, whoever it might be. Let's focus on what we're here for. And so, you know, we're all here for different reasons. We're all on the platform as creators for different reasons. So whatever your reason is, keep your eye on the prize, keep your eye on what you've been, you know, what brought you here, and keep doing what you're doing. Keep making content, keep making videos, keep growing your channel, keep building your audience, keep making money on YouTube, whether that's with AdSense or affiliates or they're selling a course, whatever you've got around your channel that you do. Make sure you stay focused on doing what you need to do to be successful. And so, you know, because every time something else goes on, it's a distraction from us doing what we've come here to do. You know, we've come here to do different things. We come, you know, you might have come to be famous. Well, if you come to be famous, then get on with it. Do something that's going to get people's attention. If you come to make money, then keep on doing that. If you just want to entertain people, then keep entertaining. So my thing is, keep your eye on the prize. Don't let this issue distract you, because there will be more issues. There'll be more drama. There'll be more things happening on YouTube to distract you in the future. So if you get distracted every time, it's going to slow you down every time. If you stay focused every time, then you won't skip a beat. You can just keep moving forward. They're my thoughts. So I'm going to dive back into the chat, because I've left the chat back along the way. Serendipity Bakery's here in the house. I'll get back to the people who have come in since. Margaret says, "Who would dislike you?" I'm sure. I'm looking. There's nothing. I can't see any dislikes on this one yet. I'm looking. I still got the counter on my iPad. Juan YT is here. I agree with a lot of the commentary YouTubers about it, because if YouTube removes the dislike counter, then it'll make it harder for us to know if a video is worth watching. Yeah, a lot of people have that as a valid reason. I respect that reason. Michael says, if you don't do mushrooms on your pizza, you don't go and put dislike posters all over the mushroom farmer's gate. Hey, that's interesting. Yeah. Because I think as a society, we need to be a bit more mature about things, and not like somebody doesn't agree with my point of view, so I'm going to get a group of people who agree with me and brigade them and drop a lot of dislikes on their video, or harass them on Twitter, or get them kicked off Reddit, or whatever it might be. You know, if we harassed every person that we disagreed with, then we'd have a short friends list, because sometimes we disagree with our own family, on things. Sometimes it's issues we disagree, but we still love our family. We don't kick people. Well, hopefully you don't kick people out of your house over a disagreement over something. We've got to have a bit of civility in our lives and with each other. We've got to have a bit of maturity in how we deal with people. All right. There was an option to hide the like and dislike count, so I don't see why YouTube would hide one and not the other. Yeah, it's interesting that they don't hide both. I'd say it'd be fair if they decided to hide both the likes and the dislikes. I wouldn't be against that if that's what was their decision instead. Most of my videos that were pushed out were videos that contained terms that were either trending or people stayed for at least half the video. Okay. Dislikes are still views. That's right. People have spent enough time watching a video to dislike it, except for those who, as soon as they get to the page, they stop the video on the pre-roll ad and then hit dislike and then leave. Then it's not a view. But yeah, in most cases, a dislike is also, there's a view there somewhere for you. And they still saw the ad. If there's an ad, if you monetize, there's an ad there. They still saw at least part of the ad. That's right. They're still interacting. Sometimes I've seen people complain that You know, I don't like your content, but why does YouTube keep promoting it to me and showing it to me in my, you know, in my home feed? I keep seeing your videos. Why? I don't like them. And it was because you keep engaging with them. You start to watch them, and then you start to comment on them to say that you don't like them, and then you might hit the dislike. You're still giving positive signals to YouTube that this might be a video that you might be interested in. It just might be this one video. You like other stuff from the creator, so sometimes it's like you're digging yourself in the hole. If you really don't like it, click the 3 dots and go not interested in this video, or not interested in this channel. Peter Dell's in the house as well. Doug, with the community tab, if I was to share a video for a friend on my tab, and they would do the same, will it give the views on both sides? Basically, the views go to the channel that the video's on. So if, say, I share one of your videos on my community tab, if people watch that video, you get the views. And then obviously if that person is sharing your video, or say you share my video and people watch that, then I get the views. So the person whose video it is gets the views regardless of where it's shared. It's like if I shared it in my Twitter feed, you would still get the views over on YouTube because people clicked it and they've gone to YouTube to watch it. So whoever owns the video, whoever the channel that the video resides on gets the views. So if you share it on the community tab, it's more for you. Hey, I want to support my friend, or I really enjoyed this video. I want to share it with people in my community. That's the sort of reason why you would share somebody else's video content there. Or if there's somebody who's in your niche, so there's similar content that you both make, and you do what's called a community tab collab. So it's a collaboration on community tab. You agree that you're going to share one video and they're going to share a video, and then, you know, that basically advertising each other to their own audiences. So yeah, I don't care about dislikes. I'd rather YouTube made improvements on auto translations so when I watch closed captions they are correct. Absolutely. It'd be good too, because I'm guilty of this. It's like I don't often enough on my videos check the closed captions. I sort of just maybe do rely on the auto captions if YouTube have actually done them, because they don't always do them. Sometimes I actually make an effort and I'll actually go and put it on a channel, but you know, I often forget, and I really need to do a better job on that myself. So as a creator, I need to do better on closed captions myself. I think on a recent one I actually did closed captions, and then I took my closed captions and I translated them to various languages that I know watch my content. So I looked at in my analytics to see who's watching my content, what languages they speak. You know, like apart from English, of course, which is the top one, but then there might be like Hindi or German or what other ones there was? Filipino and Indonesian and different things like that. And so I picked like probably about 6 different languages and actually got them translated through. Because you can do it once you've got your English, you can actually get them translated to different languages. Using you could just use Google Translate, or there's some free websites where you can just upload the CRT file in English, and then say you want it in German, and it will give you it'll translate it to German with all the timing still, and then you can just upload that to YouTube and then list it. Say, yeah, this is a German closed caption. And so I did that on a recent video, so I need to check that out to see if there's any analytics there for me to see if that was helpful for people. Certainly the English one is helpful for those who have hearing impairments and stuff, and that's the big thing for doing it in English firstly, and then people who sometimes have to watch videos with their volume down, that's where they use that as well. So it is important, and it can be helpful in getting more views and making your content more accessible. That's the word I'm looking for. So being more accessible is always a win. So sometimes we as creators need to help make our own content more accessible. So many good creators on this platform, each with their own journey on YouTube and unique stories to tell. Absolutely. Absolutely. As Richard said, don't sweat the small stuff. It's all small stuff. I watch a lot of creators who are providing foreign language auto translations. Some are great, some are not so much. Yeah, I think a lot of the ones that I've tested have just been like an offshoot, or they just harness Google Translate, so the translations won't be perfect, but hopefully they help people get the gist of the video if they don't speak English as their native language. Short of somebody who speaks that language actually doing the translation, which could get expensive, especially for a small creator who is probably trying to do their English translation themselves as it is, and they've got no hope of being able to translate a foreign language because they don't speak any of the languages. So hopefully something is better than nothing in some of those cases. Okay, where are we up to? I thought I lost my scroll. Paul Peck is in the house as well. Hello. How long ago was that? I have no idea. I don't know how far down the chat I am. I think I'm getting close. I'm getting close. I'm not sure what this is in relation to. Won't YouTube regard that as spam if overdone? So I'm not sure if that was in relation to something somebody said or something I was talking about. I don't know the context. Let me know. Let me know what you mean. I wish viewers understood. Hang on, I need to click on it. I'm sometimes clicking on these and starting reading before I read it myself. I wish viewers understood that they can speed up the video and watch it faster. Yeah, yes. And then sometimes people say you speak too fast. As well, you can actually slow it down a little bit. Some people speak too fast. Like, I think Nick Dimon gets that sometimes. He says, because he can, he's drilling the information. Sometimes it's like, and people with English that aren't their first language, they go, oh, it's a little bit tough for me to understand. It's like, oh, well, you can actually slow it down. Yeah, there's services like Rev who will do English closed captions, or will even do translations to foreign languages, but certainly it's a paid service. Absolutely. I'm not sure, but I know Daryl Eves says he watches everything 2 times. Yeah, I've heard him say that. I do that too, especially on tutorials. Yeah, and helps you sometimes if you can still have enough comprehension to watch it at like 1.5 or 2 times speed. That can be helpful in getting through a lot of content quickly, which I'm sure Daryl watches a lot of content because he has his hand on the pulse of a lot of channels. He's involved with a lot of channels, so he needs to watch that content. He's got to do research. He's got to do all sorts of stuff. And there's a Sharon Sipes in the house, says, can you do a new video on how a new mod can find link and put guest link on chat and how to pin up a question? Yeah, I'm happy. I'm going to be doing more content for moderation, particularly on YouTube. So look out for that. So yeah, I can cover some of that. One thing to note though, that mods can't pin comments. Only the streamer can pin comments at the moment. So that might be something though that YouTube might bring in the future as a feature option, because we know from a couple of weeks ago when we talked about YouTube giving hints of what they might be working on for 2022. And one of those is more moderation tools. So hopefully that's a bonus. We might get more input from third-party applications that might help us do some of these things, whether it's on YouTube or Twitch or different places that you might be moderating. So there could be something interesting there to look out for as well. But yeah, I'll certainly be talking more about moderation, some of those things. I do have one on using the Stream Deck to post links and other comments like that you might be highly repeated, like a canned response. Also did a canned response using, if you're doing comments, live chat, or even answering comments on your phone, there's a canned response app that I talked about in a recent video as well. So there's a few recent moderation videos as well that you can check out. But yeah, more to come. It was about sharing content on the community tab. Okay, cool. Cool. I think, are you talking about like doing too many translations? I don't know what. But yeah, Like I know channels. There are probably some channels who post multiple community posts per day. I think if it's valid, it's your way connecting with the community, and if your community appreciates it and isn't being bombarded with content, it's like posting too many videos or something like that. As long as it's not being bombarded with content or unnecessary content, then it should be fine. But yeah, you've got to watch out for overburdening your audience with information or a lot of videos, a lot of community posts. So you don't just want to get on there and say, "Hi, how you going?" That's your community post. Don't use it like a chat app. You try and use it to communicate important information, run a poll, promote a video, post images or a GIF or a GIF or whichever you prefer. So all those things, use all the different types of things to post. Make sure you tag people with mentions. And if you don't know about mentions, I did a recent video on mentions. I think it might have been my last video. It's been quite a few weeks since I put out a video. All right. Chantel listens to podcasts at around 2 times the speed, but I don't tend to do it on YouTube channels because they don't get the view minutes. I actually do something similar on podcasts on the app that I use. I use Overcast, and there's a little button there that actually will speed it up slightly, and what they do is they actually try and reduce the amount of pauses in a podcast, so you get through the podcast just that little bit quicker. So I have that turned on, and I don't really notice the difference. It's just like listening to normal podcasts. I don't speed it up per se, but I do know that it does speed it up just a little at times, depending on the cadence of the particular podcast. I hit my mute button, but it takes a second for it to register, and I'm like, am I muted yet? I'm trying to cough. It's crazy. Serendipity has a comment here. Maybe Doug could do a video for viewers on how to use the buttons on their screens. A lot of viewers seem to not understand they have control on captions. Oh yeah, all the on-screen controls. Yeah, that's great. I never thought of that. I should have thought of that. Thank you for the suggestion. Oh, I need to write that down. Not right now, because it'll take me 5 minutes to write it down. I'll try and remember to write it down after the stream. And if I actually had... I just realised that I can just put a little marker in the stream so I can come back to it later. So I have just dropped the marker. Once I understand how that works, I might even do a tutorial on it. Please pass the Krispy Kremes. I wish I had a Krispy Kreme right now. Krispy Kreme and a nice cup of tea would be lovely. Like just a glazed. It's basic glazed Krispy Kreme. Lovely. But yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you for the video idea. I like it. I need to sit down and do some research on that. Scaly Models is in the house. Welcome. You know what? I'm going to change the angle. How are we going here? How are we going? Well, I need to sit down and just look at the camera for a bit. I'm going to switch to this one. I always forget that I've got that second camera on, and I can cut to it any time I want. But we'll do that in just a second. Just a second. Who's messaging me? People messaging me during my stream. Chantel, I see you. I'll read that in a sec. They don't get view time if we're speeding up the portions of the video. Yeah, it's a bit funny, the whole speeding up versus slowing down, because you'd think, okay, maybe one is more advantageous to the creator than the other, because maybe speeding up because they're getting it through quicker. It's like I'm literally only on the video half the time. Maybe that's a pain. Or, if I slow it down, do they get even more watch time? That's a whole video in itself, because I have to really go back and read some research on that to remember how all that actually works, because that can do your head in when thinking about it. So we might cover it sometime if I do a bit of research on it. because I do remember that discussion, and I do remember getting answers on that. I think it might have even been Daryl Eves or someone in one of his streams or something, or one of his videos. But it'll come back up, because I'm sure it will. So I will endeavour to turn my phone off. Whiskey Lovers Society is here. Do you know when they will activate the Go Live feature for iOS mobile? Still not available in Belgium. Yeah, I had it a couple of weeks ago when I talked about that on, was it a video or a stream? I can't remember. It's all blending together now. But I already have it on iOS, so I think it might be either regional or just an update, or they're just pushing it out randomly. Because even on the YouTube page, I think they've already updated the iOS page. So it's mobile, YouTube mobile live streaming. YouTube mobile live streaming. Because I'm pretty sure, because vidIQ actually did a video on this earlier this week. And the reason why I was I said thanks to Rob, because Rob actually mentioned me for a piece of information on that video, on his video. I think it was early this week. It was like Sunday or Monday this week when that video came out on vidIQ, and gave me the shout out for the piece of information on how how many people can watch your mobile live stream views. So you're on 50 subscribers, because you can get it when you get to 50 subscribers. So that means that it's 50 plus 25, so you can have 75 people watching maximum. So they sort of cap you in your ability to get viewers. So he credited me on that. He said that he wouldn't have made that video if he hadn't seen my video on the subject, because he was unaware of the change until he saw my video on it, and then he made his video on it. So that's the reason why he actually gave me the shout out for that particular piece of information, because that's the one piece of information that he couldn't corroborate without my image, which came from, I think, a screenshot on one of my phones. So we're still talking about this mobile thing. So let's see. Create a live stream on your mobile. Okay. We'll go to the screen share. Here we go. This is currently the Android one. So you can see down here it says it's updated to 50 subscribers. And I think last time I looked, and even on vidIQ's video, the iPhone one is now the same. It says 50 subscribers as well. So if it's not working on your device, just look for maybe some app updates or something like that. Maybe refresh anything that you might be able to refresh. Because, yeah, it maybe still be rolling out to people, but I'd be surprised. Maybe it's a regional thing, so they're still rolling out regionally. But I've had it for a few weeks on my phone, but I know that it was out on Android a little bit before I got my iPhone happening, because I was getting it there and I wasn't getting it there. So, yeah, let's jump back to this one. Oh, look at the time. The countdown clock's down to 22 seconds. What do we got? What do we got? It's 11 minutes to 9 a.m. Eastern, or midnight my time. I'm just going to skip through this chat real quick, see if there's something I can pull out. Mods may get levels of access as guessing producer option added. Yeah, we really don't know what that's going to look like yet, but they're promising some new live stream abilities for moderators and for the streamers themselves. So wait and see what that looks like. Construction Crony's in the house. Here he is. Daryl also has in his book that the YouTube algorithm doesn't like auto captions or translations. If that's true, then YouTube needs to correct that and leave the dislike button alone. Oh, it's interesting. I haven't got up to. I have the book, but I must admit I haven't got too far into it just yet. Mind you, I ordered this in December last year. I got it, I think, June or July, and I still haven't It's been sitting here as a prop, which is not what it's for. Just gonna put it down like that. I need to take it upstairs, put it next to my bed. It's for reading. It's for reading. All right. I've updated, still get the same message. I saw the video about it. It's still the same here. Yeah. So hopefully that's. I don't know what that would be based on, because if there's an app update, you know, for YouTube, the YouTube app, then it's got to be rolling out to everyone at the same time. So it must be something that they're flicking switches on a per account basis. I really don't know. It's really odd. It's really odd. So hopefully it's not too much longer for you. If the algorithm is not pushing videos due to captions or language translations, then that's a huge concern for me. Yeah, I really have never heard anything about that before. So yeah, that's something to see. If I get any concrete information on that, I'll definitely share it. Definitely share it. Looking into that. I'll have a chat to some people. That's all I can do. Have a chat to some people. Because I haven't heard that one. Adam's Exploits is here. Magic Flying Potatoes here. I'll try to get to the bottom of the chat. I want to tell you what's coming up, because we're getting towards the end of this stream. We've got Nick Nimmons going live very soon. So I want to tell people what's happening today in the world of live streaming. Digital tools of the trade is in the house. Everyone's jumping in. I'm scrolling quickly. How about I write my own book one day, my friend? I think I'd be capable of writing a book. I just need the inspiration. Got an update this week in the YouTube app. Yeah, they do app updates and how they roll out features and changes and stuff. It's like what they did with Shorts. It's just very random. You can never predict that which particular person's going to get access to something at any particular time. Bottom of the chat. I've reached the bottom of the chat. And I'd like to talk about what's coming up in live streaming today. Look, in the middle. On the left-hand side there, you can see Nick Nimmons coming up 9 a.m. right after this stream, which is in 7 minutes from now. Learning how to get YouTube views as a small creator. It's the Nimmin live stream show. He answers your creator-related questions, as he always does. If you haven't never heard of Nick Nimmin, then make sure you jump on over there and check it out. If you have YouTube questions, he has probably got the answer. And coming up later today, it's the second Saturday of the month. So that means that it's D, Nimmin, and Daniel Batal doing YouTube channel reviews over on the StreamYard channel. Chantel's already dropping links to the particular things we're talking about, so the links will be there for you. That's coming up at 12:15 p.m. Eastern. So that'll be pretty much once Nick's done. You can jump on over to the StreamYard channel and jump in on the YouTube channel reviews with D and Daniel. You know what they do? They gamify it. It's gamified. It's not just pick me. It's like get in the game. Submit your name. They spin the wheel. There's a lot of wheels to spin. And you just might win a prize at the end of the show. Some lucky person will be winning a prize. Some StreamYard merch for sure. I'm sure. I think that's what they usually give away. But, there could be a plushie coming your way, a hoodie. You never know. But that's coming up. So make sure you check out both of those. So all the Nimmins have got you covered today. Let's jump on back. And you know what that means? Now, I have to get ready for Nimmin Live. I have moderation duties myself, speaking of moderation, as we did earlier. So I'd like to invite you to join me over on Nimmin Live. You head straight on over there. I'm going to wrap things up now, and I appreciate everyone jumping in and saying hi, even those who are coming in late. We did talk about the YouTube dislike counter. I gave you my opinion, and in the end, it was like, hey, creators, keep your eye on the prize. Don't be distracted by all the noise. Make sure you keep doing what you're doing. And I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. This is Doug, and I'll catch you later.
Stay tuned for Niman Live right after the stream. Nick will answer your YouTube questions live.